These olives are the best olives I've ever had in my life, along with this yogurt drink. My goodness, the food here is 1,000 times better than any food I had back in the US. Well, I just wanted to share what happened in Heraklion. I had some time off today. I woke up pretty late because of the jet lag from the flight, and I decided just to kind of go to the city center. My hotel is not too far, so instead of taking a cab, I ended up walking, and it took me about 20 minutes for me to get to the city center, and then maybe an extra 5 or 7 minutes to get to the beach, so it wasn't that far. I first stopped over at the beach where I was able to see a lot of the Mediterranean climate and the ocean. I got to see palm trees everywhere. I even saw the island um, right next to Crete, the smaller island. I forgot what it was called, right by the Heraklion port. And then you're just able to see all these different types of geological soil features and grass that's pretty much non-existent, and a couple of trees scattered here and there, but not a lot. So the geographical terrain looks very different than it is, say, in the Northeast or the Eastern U.S. or more parts of Central and Northern Europe, where it's more forested. Unfortunately, you can't see Libya or Africa to Crete. One of my friends suggested that, but I wasn't able to see anything other than just the island of Crete and the surrounding islands nearby. So I think that's a myth. You would have to be several hundred kilometers in the air, maybe in order to just start seeing the tip of Libya, but I don't think that's a reality, from the ground at least. After I walked around the beach, I went to the National Cultural Museum of Heraklion, which was nice. It gives you a history of what types of civilizations lived in the area and Crete as well. I first stopped by the very ancient artifacts, which were kept by the Minoans. Got to see some weapons there, and then also like a small map of the city, which wasn't too bad. And then I got to see some ruins from the Greek and Roman empires, which was really cool. That's literal history right in front of your eyes. And then I went to the next floor where I got to see some more Byzantine era artifacts. These mostly included things from the Christianity rule during the Byzantine Empire, which Crete was a part of. So a lot of mosaics portraying Jesus, the Virgin Mary, etc. And then after that, I went to the more modern events of the section of the museum, which talked a lot about the war in Crete and its involvement in World War II, and how the Germans, when they occupied Greece, they came to Crete, and how Greece allied with the British mostly to fight off the Germans and maintain their independence in Crete, and then eventually joined Greece later on. And then I finally made my stop over at the museum, which covered a lot of the cultural aspects of Crete, like the clothing and the jewelry and what people wore back then. It looks very similar to a lot of Near Eastern cultures in terms of the designs and antiques. After that, I pretty much walked around the city center. I was able to look at the city known fountain of the lion heads. Unfortunately, it wasn't running. I think it's because it's the winter time, and generally when it gets a bit cooler, it doesn't really run that often. And then I also got to see just markets and cats and a lot of people everywhere. It's very safe for young women to walk down the road without having to worry about being in danger, which is good. I did notice throughout much of the area, I saw a lot of graffiti on the walls and many of the buildings, and some abandoned architecture, which really was criticizing the war Israel has on Gaza with the Palestinians. And that really surprised me. I didn't know Heraklion would be that political, but apparently a lot of the Greek youth here don't like what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now. That was very eye-opening. I didn't know I'd see that, but it was just kind of a surprise as he kind of went everywhere. That's pretty much my day. I'm probably going to go to the store tonight, get some groceries for the rest of the week, and then on Thursday get ready for my trip. I don't know what I'm planning on doing tomorrow, but I'm going to see. But again, I'm only here for like 9 or 8 days. I'm going next Wednesday back to Boston. So I'll see what I can make of it. I don't have to wear my jacket. It's pretty warm outside, believe it or not. I mean, yes, it is like the southernmost part of Europe you can go to that's in the Schengen zone and part of the European Union. And I really just enjoy the Mediterranean sun just shining on me. But I do miss those more temperate winters, especially like in Boston and even in Central Europe. And where I was yesterday in Vienna, there was actually snowing from what I've heard. So I do miss the more temperate climates, but nonetheless, Mediterranean sun I think is really good. So, anyways, that's pretty much it. I'll share updates later. Many thanks and cheers.